Hello, Prophetess Elise, your intel girl in the spirit world. Now we're going to be discussing Ephesians 6:12 spirits. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. Now, let's discuss the principalities. These are demonic princes. These are the ones that are in high ranking in the demonic realm. These are the ones that govern countries, regions, territories, even land masses, and even continents. These have been around since they were dispersed once the rebellion, of Satan and his third of the angels went with him. The rebellion came, and of course, with the rebellion, came, them in different places in the regions in the world. Now, to understand how they operate, they are in high places in whatever region and territory they're in. That means they're all in government, they're all in corporations, they're all in education, they're in everything in high places. They're in the secret high organizations as well. They're the ones that dictate, they're the ones that govern, they're the ones that rule everything until those vessels who are open, those vessels who are possessed, those vessels who don't have God in them, those vessels who want money, prestige, and fame and power, just like when Jesus, when Satan took Jesus up to the mountain, those ones that got sucked in with power and prestige and wealth and want to have the world under their feet, and they want to have the world in their hands. These are the vessels that are used, human vessels that are being used by these entities, and sometimes they take over, sometimes they're nothing but demonic puppets in the government, they're demonic puppets in the education, and they're just dictating what these demonic princes are telling them to do. Now, these are hard to deal with because they're in higher ranking. That means you have to have higher ranking God to deal with them. You have to have a team of people. You have to have strategy to dismantle them. And it's going to take time because these demonic principalities have been infused in those regions and countries and territories for centuries and years. So you have a lot to unravel and a lot to dismantle, but it can be done. That's the first one. Now, the other one is demonic powers. Demonic powers is the ones under the demonic principalities. These are the powers that are released in order to do all the work. These are all the demonic spirits, the demonic powers of, Leviathan, of, Python, divination, witchcraft. All these different demonic powers come together. And, of course, they release certain powers for that certain region. If they want the demonic power of murder, there's going to be a lot of murder. Demonic power of rape, there's going to be a lot of rape. A demonic power of poverty, there's going to be a lot of power. Demonic power of, wars and infighting, that's going to be the demonic power release. Whatever you notice in your region and country and land mass and continent, that is a demonic power that has been released for the demonic prince to do his bidding. So if you see a lot of rape, murder, destruction, death, sorrow, that demonic power has been released in that region. Identify it. You'll know it in the region that you're in. And you'll also know the regions that are not governed by the demonic realm, that people pray a lot and keep them at bay. You'll know a sense when you're in different regions where there's peace, where there's joy, where there's liberty, because that particular region is covered in prayer and they have open heavenly portals and they're shutting down these principalities and demonic powers in high places. Now, the next one, of course, rulers of darkness. These are the ones that are set in place in different places in organizations and companies and governments and education. Anything that we have a hand in, anything that we're in charge of, even in the banks, the world banks, they are in those. These are the ones that they put in place that are being used as a tool, just like the enemy. People use, henchmen, they use mafia, they use people to do their bidding. These are the demonic henchmen. These are the demonic ones used through vessels, human vessels. Rulers of darkness are those who are doing wicked things in human vessels that the enemy is using, the enemy is pretty much controlling, the enemy is dictating, and pretty much have covered and taken over their life. And then they take other people in. That's where the secret organizations come. These are rulers of darkness that want to control every part of the world. They're the ones that want to release a new world order. They're the ones that want to release, different diseases and sicknesses and rules and laws to cause chaos. They're the ones that want to take, formula milk off the shelves. They're the ones that are creating and creating strategy to destroy mankind for their own gain. That's the main thing. And, of course, the next one was the darkness of the world and spiritual wickedness in high places. These are the spirits that are in the elements, the tornadoes, the hurricanes. These are the ones that govern the waters. These are the ones that govern the airs, the skies, the stratosphere, the space. This is where you get the constellations, where you get astrology. This is where you get, people, you looking at the numbers, looking at the stars, looking at the tarot cards. These are the ones in high places that they come in different places. That's why it's a high, saturation of New Age. There's a high saturation of New Age, and then people are infusing Christianity with New Age. Different religions are coming together, and one day you this, one day you that, one day you here. This is where the infusion of religions and confusion comes in. It's okay to dip and dabble in this, and okay to dip and dabble in this. Okay to do stuff in Halloween, and then it's okay to do stuff, for God, back and forth. So this is where we have the infusion and infrastructure of, how the enemy is weaving his way out with these spiritual wickednesses in high places, especially in, the sky, especially in the weather, especially in, technology. Just because high places don't always mean elements in technology, especially in using different methods and means to open up portals, different methods and means to create robots that will kill, doing different methods and means to, clone people so they can create their perfect human race. That is to seal the mentality, just like Hitler had in the Aryan race. There is all of these are coming together to create the perfect race, the perfect, ruler, the perfect order, so they can have everything to themselves, all the resources, all the blessings, all the, everything that's on the earth. They want to be able to have it for themselves. So in order to have it for themselves morally, they're going to eliminate, those they seem as the minority. And minority is not necessarily black. Minority is not necessarily, Hispanic. Minority is not necessarily the majority over. Minority is whoever is in the way of getting what they need, getting what they want. They will kill and destroy an entire population. They will destroy an entire race and culture in order to get what they want. That's the same reason why, the explorers and like Ponce de Leon and Marco Polo and Christopher Columbus, they came in with the same tactics. They were the old rulers of darkness. They came over to, pillage, rape, and destroy, those who are in the American soil. That is the purpose of these high-ranking spirits. And that's the purpose of using people in the world in order to create havoc, to create, control, to create territories and have it govern and rule the way they want to. And everyone is in a spirit of oppression. Everyone's in a spirit of bondage. Everyone is just like the Egyptians who, enslaving the Israelites. They want us in a spirit of bondage and oppression to do their bidding. So slavery, demonic era hierarchy in these Ephesians 6, they want a slavery mentality. They want the humans under their slave control. They want to use whoever they can use, whoever explorer, whoever ruler, whoever government, whoever dictator, whoever president, in order to do their bidding. And then they release all the evil spirits, different animalistic spirits, different witchcraft spirits of different creatures that you have not seen, in order to do whatever they need to do in that particular region and territory, to wreak havoc on the earth. And so that's very important in this time, especially in, October, especially right now. They have been doing this year round. This is not just because it's a special day, but it's to desensitize us to realize, to make us think they're not real. They are real, and they're operating in the world. They're operating in the church. They're operating in ministry. They're operating in schools. They're operating everywhere. Just like we had that mass shooting in Texas, they were operating in all of that. Because God is not the author of confusion. He's not the author of chaos. He's not the author of pain, suffering, and death. Jesus came to rectify that. But we have to deal with the entities that were released because of sin. We have to deal with the entities and the spirits and all these Ephesians 6 principalities. We have to deal with them because of what we did, our sinful ways and our sinful habits and things that we enter into our spirit, and the demonic portals that we allow open in the regions and in the earth. That is our responsibility, to close them up. We have to close them up so we will not have all the destruction and chaos in the earth, and all the sorrow and the pain, and people dying before their time. Mysterious deaths. That's not always physical. That's not always a sickness. Something else is going on in the world. Something else is going on in the portals. Something else is going on in the world that we have to be discernful and prayerful in this season. You cannot just have your everyday life. You are here to help stop the enemy doing what he's doing in these Ephesians 6 spirits. So keep praying with purpose and power. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. It's going to be more intel in the spirit world. This was just a little brief intel. There'll be more intel on what you need to know in this season and in these end times. Keep praying with purpose and power, and check your portals.